Megan's show, where it's a lot going on. We discuss music, drama, celebrity gossip, pop culture, and everything in the entertainment world.
That's how we already know.
Stay tuned right here as we spill the tea, sip some tea, all raw for your enjoyment. Now grab your cup and buckle up.
Ooh. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Armon, and we are back in the studio late night at this time. If you're watching live, here about to get into some things, okay? Oh, ciao. I don't know why this thing likes to play with me like this. Ooh. Let me, if you guys can hear me all right and my mouth is moving with my lips and everything is going good, give me some bells and bombs just so I know that we hear. So I want to make sure everything is doing good. I'm going to designate some, we're going to add some, tonight we're going to do some, and some moderators tonight. All right, y'all. So here's what we're going to do. All right, so we're going to get into some things tonight, okay? I don't know if I'm going to open up the call-in number. I don't know if I'm going. I have it available and ready, but I kind of wanted to make this a late night live, kind of because I just kind of want to kind of talk freely and, you know, kind of get it off my chest and, you know, get my opinions out there. Also, if you're a returning subscriber, then you know how this thing goes. And then if you're a new subscriber, welcome and hello. Sorry, you know,
Hello, motherfucker.
Running a little bit, you know, off schedule, okay? All right, so let me just jump into some things about this whole Malik Yoba situation, the LGBTQ community, all of that. And I'm just going to be, now this is all, some of the things I'm saying is alleged because I don't know any of these things for fact. There's not going to be any print screens or any screenshots of anything like that. It's just coming from what I kind of think, how I feel. This is all my opinion, but I've got some information from some other people. And so I'm just telling you from, you know, my perspective. So obviously we know that Malik Yoba has came out as trans attracted. And that's the new conversation that's being had right now. Like, he's done interviews on The Breakfast Club. He's done interviews on different Facebook live shows with different transgender women. And, you know, a lot of people are not feeling it. Okay, so there's a problem with the LGBT community and there's a problem with the Malik Yoba situation. Now, I'll tell you the problem with Malik Yoba first, as from what I'm gathering from everybody. Okay, the issue with Malik Yoba, particularly from, you know, the LGBT community, or I'll say that some of the trans community, is the fact that now this is alleged, and I know, Malik, I know you got people out there, and I already got heard through the grapevine that anybody that is speaking negatively on you, you're ready to sue, and you guys have you have your lawyer team on it and things like that. So don't come from me. This is just alleged, but I believe it to be true. Now, a lot of the trans community is upset with Malik Yoba because they feel as though he has been around for a very long time sleeping with the transgender women. Okay, I've got some exclusive information that Malik Yoba used to allegedly be picking these women up. He likes the male genitalia on the transgender. He doesn't like to use protection, allegedly. And so he would, and he was mean. He would force, he would throw his money around on them, and he knew that they were also underage. Okay, and now this didn't come from one. This came from several that said that they've dated Malik Yoba, and you know, dated in a sense to where he was a client. Okay, so a lot of the trans community is upset with Malik Yoba because he's being championed as some type of hero, when a lot of the girls know that he was a client, allegedly. Okay. And then from the straight point of view, Malik Yoba, And honestly, from the, from just me personally, I'll tell you as a gay man, me too. I've heard that Malik Yoba, and I've heard that I haven't seen where he said this, but it's been said that he has said that he's attracted to, trans women, and it doesn't matter post-op or pre-op. So my thing is this: you are not straight, in my opinion, if you are attracted to a transgender that has male genitalia. To me, that's not a straight man. Okay. And so a lot of the straight women in the straight community, they're like, that's not straight. Okay. So you guys got to stop pushing this narrative of being, straight. And so Malik Yoga, that's an issue for people. And I agree, but I also agree with a lot of the trans community when they say they have an issue with Malik Yoba now all of a sudden coming out and being trans attracted when he's been doing this for years, but you've never seen him date a transgender woman. You've never seen, he hasn't talked about, really being in love and being with a transgender woman. And then he's not addressing any of these allegations of him being a client. And so he went on, and this is my main problem with Malik Yoba. You know what I mean? All these things are coming out, and he knows that it's not just that Mariah Lopez that's talking about it. There's many trans women that are saying that he has been a client to them, but yet he goes on the Breakfast Club, doesn't bring that up. And then he did a Facebook Live interview with a transgender, and they had different callers come in, different people come in, but there was no transgenders that were able to call in or Skype in or video chat in to really talk to him. It was only boys. However, there were two transgenders kind of conducting the interview, but there was no transgenders allowed to actually call in and ask him questions. And to me, that comes because, the transgender that was there, they're probably more focused on, the clout of it all, or, the fact that they have him there. So, and I get it. They don't want to ask the hard questions. They don't want to ask the controversial questions. They want to ask the supporting questions. However, really getting to the meat and the potatoes of the situation. What about these allegations? What about people saying that you were a client? Why now you're deciding to come out about this thing? Like, what's in it for you? And then he said he was very strict. And then on the Breakfast Club, he actually, which we'll get into that Breakfast Club interview because I didn't finish that whole interview, and we'll get to that in a second. I couldn't get all the way through it, and it's no shade. But I can't get all the way through a lot of this Malik Yoba trans stuff because some of this stuff starts to I get annoyed. And you guys will understand, like this is like a lot of you all are annoyed by this stuff. I've been annoyed by this stuff when it comes to certain conversations around trans and gay and straight. And that's why so many people say that I don't like the community, this, that, and the third, because some of these narratives that get pushed, to me, it doesn't help the community. It really sets us back and it really makes us look crazy. You know what I mean? But we'll get into that in a second. So people were saying, a lot of those girls were mad. A lot of people were upset because those questions weren't asked and he wasn't clearing any of those allegations up. It would have been very clear just to say, hey, you know what? That wasn't me. I didn't do that before, but he didn't want to look like a client, and I heard through the grapevine that, through certain people that, spoke to him or whatnot, they basically, were told, shut up. Allegedly. Okay. So I think when you come out like that and that, and I believe that he probably has been a client because we know that majority of some of the transgender culture is to date. You know what I mean? Now, when it comes to, being underage, this, that, and the third, some of that is not Malik Yoba's fault. You can't get mad at him if you're underage and you're on the stroll. I don't know how that works, but I don't know if people are going on the stroll and they're asking people, hey, how old are you? For some coon. You know what I mean? I think they're just, telling you what they want. they go with the price, and you get, I mean, in my mind, that's how it works. I don't really think that people are sitting there discussing age. But anywho, I'm not mad at Malik Yoba necessarily for that, because if he didn't know, then I mean, I don't know what people are exposing him for. You know, you get what I'm saying? However, I do think he should be addressing this, and I do think in those interviews, he should have been asked about those situations, because it does seem a little bit suspect that all of a sudden you're coming out now with it, number one. And then number two, the fact that they are using this boy who ended up taking his life as a reason to, you know, come out as being trans attracted. Everybody knows that Reese boy that's not why he hurt himself. He was a drug addict, and he was attacking his transgender girlfriend. Mind you, this is what I cannot stand. And this is kind of bleeding into the problem with the LGBT community. You had so many prominent LGBT members and trans members going with this narrative that this man killed himself because he was attracted to transgenders, and people were bashing him when they all knew that was not the case. But to push this narrative of victimizing transgender and making transgender look like this hopeless, helpless victim, this thing, they went with that. And now Malik Yoba is going around using that story as the means to come out and say he's trans attracted, and people are riding with that, knowing damn well that is not really the case. That's not true. That's not why that boy killed himself. And so I think, and see, that bleeds into my issue with a lot of the LGBT communities, particularly the trans community and the trans leaders that didn't really do their research. You had so many of them that were promoting this, like, you know what I mean? You know, you protect our trans girls. No, but where was the out? And like I said before, which nobody has said, because half of them were not following this boy. I was actually friends with him on Facebook. Where was everybody's opinion? Where was all the advocacy? Where was all the support for this young man when he was sitting on live getting high? No. There was none of that. There was no support. There was no help. There was no rehab. No one was reaching out. He killed himself because he had mental issues, and you guys used his death as a means to go viral, get interviews, make money, and push a false narrative. That's what I cannot get with. And I be over that. That I don't be with. Okay? I'm not with that. Another piece of this story, but this is a double-sided coin. In Malik Yoba's defense, he is coming out and exposing himself, okay? And this is another problem with the LGBT trans community that we have. You have a man like Malik Yoba exposing himself, right? And then even women, we want these men to come out and expose themselves, but once they come out and expose themselves, who protects these men? You get what I'm saying? Then we attack them, and especially people in our own community. I was watching a live stream the other day, and this man said it so eloquently. He was very much open about dating trans women, very much, and he attractive man, an older man. He was very much so into it. But his thing was this: I've always been there for my trans girls. I've always been there for, transgender women. I've always been attracted to them. I've never hid it. I've never, hid from that. But it's different. If I date a cisgendered woman from New York City, and we break up, and I find another woman, biological, cisgender, whatever, if he finds another woman in New York City, there's a low chance for them not to know each other, right? But then if he meets a transgender in Dallas and they're talking and they break up, and then he finds another transgender in New York and they start talking, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, maybe 7 times out of 10, the transgender in Dallas might just know the transgender in New York because it's a smaller community. And then that man who came out living in his truth, that's trans attracted, is now called a tranny chaser, which I didn't look at it like that until he said, I was like, you know what? That's true. So it makes those men not want to come out. And be interested. And also, when those men come out, a lot of those men don't want to be looked at as gay. And this is where the heterosexual society has to take responsibility. Because in my opinion, if a man likes a transgender woman that is fully transgendered and transition, I don't think that makes him gay. I think that he likes transgender women. Now, if that transgender woman still has a genitalia, that's a different conversation because you're with her for that genitalia. 9 times out of 10. Okay? That's just my belief. Now, going into this Breakfast Club interview, which I didn't get all the way through, so I'm not even going to pretend like I did. I felt like the guy, the gay guy that was talking, he was like almost too smart for his own good. Like he was almost too educated and too philosophical and too clever and too witty and he was too much because you know how you over plan and over prepare. Like I feel like the panel of them were so ready. And so I think when the LGBT members get up there and they start speaking and they start spewing rhetoric like gender is assigned at birth by a doctor and it's like it's not natural. It's kind of like, come on, y'all. Like this is what makes us look like we mentally ill and this is what makes us look like we crazy. This is the stuff where people just be like, all right, I can't get with this LGBT shit because these niggas be on one. It's like saying, you choose your own gender. No, man. If you have a penis, you are a man. If you have a vagina, you are a woman. You don't choose to, I mean, you get what I'm saying? Like, let's be real. That's like saying today, I want to say, in my mind, I believe today that I am a Hispanic, Vietnamese, white woman. And I chose that for myself. And anybody that tells me different is wrong. I'm a Hispanic, Vietnamese, white woman. And I'm that today. With all this testosterone, facial hair, pubic hair, balls, and everything that I have, I am a woman. Because I said so. That's not real life. We can't do stuff like that. That is not real life. That's not real life. That's not real life, people. You know, and I can't get with that rhetoric either because I'm like, hold on. Well, if that's the case, then why do the transgenders want breasts and hair and this? Just say I'm a woman and look the way that you look. Why go try to soften yourself up? Why take the hormones? Why do this? Why do that? If you can just decide at any moment who you are. That was crazy. That was crazy. But when we get into this transgender stuff, this is why I've always said when it comes to this transgender stuff, so many, and particularly gay men, I don't understand why they do this either. But even with this this transgender stuff, it's like everybody has to be so delicate with it, and everybody has to be so this, and everybody has to be so politically correct, and everybody has to just put all these different labels and just you have to be so no. You're transgendered. Okay? Either you're post-op or you're pre-op. Period. It is what it is. You were not biologically born one way or another, and you decided that you wanted to change it, and you did it. Whether you were a male to female or female to male. That's just what it is. It's what it is. And I cannot stand all these different freaking letters and labels. Listen, it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to be afraid to say transgender. You're transgendered. That's what you are. But it also goes, I really also think that women should get over the fact that that they say cisgender, like cisgender to transgender. That divides the difference. I don't understand why people get offended by those two terms. There's transgender women, there's cisgender women. You get what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's not offensive. It's just separating the two, because while they are both women, they're different types of women. Now, I see people talking about they not cis. Now, you cannot be cisgendered and expect a transgender not to. If you're not cisgendered, then a transgender is not transgender. That's just what it is. Like I can't let that go either. Like I can't just let that ride. You know what I mean? Because cisgendered is like the way that you were born. You know what I mean? You were born a biological female. I mean, it is what it is. But just as though a lot of the biological women don't want transgendered women calling themselves women, because if you can just be called a woman, then a transgender could just be called a woman. Because what we have to understand is we got to get over the fact that yes, the transgenders were born male at one point. It is what it is. But it starts to get disrespectful when you try to remind them when you try to beat down in their mind, you're a man. Listen, we understand what it is. That's why they're transgendered women. No one is saying that there are biological women, but you don't need to keep reminding them that they were born male because they've moved on with that part of their life. Now, when you get to the point of a man like Malik Yoba identifying as straight, but being known allegedly to like transgenders with male genitalia, then that's a different story. Because in that point, to me, you are gay or at least bisexual. If you are the same sex and if you're a man and you are engaging with another man or someone with male genitalia and you are a man, you are bisexual or gay. Period. Like I said, if the transgender was post-op, I don't think that makes him gay, because there's no parts left of the male except for the fact that they can't have a child. Okay, whatever. There's a lot of women that can't have kids either. So whoop-de-doo. So that's just my take on it. But I think that Malik Yoba is not taking responsibility or just not acknowledging. And I think that that's trash that he is trying to act like that, he hasn't been out there before. And and he said in the Breakfast Club interview that he had dealings, at 16. So it's very clear that you was out there on them streets. He's been the boss. He's been on the strips. You know what I mean? But he should acknowledge that. And it's even more sad that he's going on these interviews telling people not to do it and threatening people, having people sign NDAs, things like that, making sure they don't speak out and all these other things behind the scenes. Allegedly. Because I ain't got no time to be getting sued. So that's all I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? However, I think that the transgender community, it's almost a little bit of you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. The man came out, but here y'all go immediately wanting to expose. So it's just kind of like, well, girl, you get what I'm saying? That it's just like you're never satisfied. I understand that people want him to. That's why I said it's issues on both ends, because Malik Yoba is not completely living in his truth, and he used that boy's issue as a way to come out, and he had been working behind the scenes with those transgender allies and things like that to promote this walk, this parade. And so he strategically came out during this time. However, at the same time, a lot of these transgenders are coming out to expose and this, that, and the third. It's just like, well, girl, how are you exposing when you were a prostitute? Like, you were a prostitute. Like, what do you want? What is the tea? Like, you wanted him to be with you? You were a hoe. You set yourself up to be a hoe. You, like, what? Like, why are you mad? I don't understand that. You were a hoe. You didn't have to hoe. And that's a whole nother thing. Because a lot of them feel like they have to prostitute. I don't think that you do. So, I don't know. Some people saying the girl was 13, this, that, and the third. Listen, do I condone any of that? Absolutely not. But you exposing somebody at talking about, oh, you was sleeping with me when I was 13. You put yourself out there when you was 13. He probably didn't know that you was 13. And if he did, you put yourself out there. Like, I just don't understand why people try to, how do you blame somebody else for something that you did? I don't understand that. Someone says the only reason why Malik came out is because someone was ready to expose him. He jumped in front of it. All right, so I'm going to attempt to open up the lines, but if you guys curse, because these trans subjects, these things like that, YouTube be shutting it down and not monetizing it. So if we get a lot, if y'all start cursing and getting crazy, I'm going to just cut the call number. So because I can't have too much of that, because I be working too hard for YouTube to be demonetizing my stuff. Y'all know they trying to switch the content creators up. You know, they trying to force us off here. And just play with the church's coin, honey. You won't see the Armon. Speaking of that, but before we get into the call-in number, I want to shout out, because a lot of people have been asking me, about YouTube. And I was like, you know what? I don't really, I'm not really in a place to do consultations and things like that. But a lot of people send me their music. A lot of people send me their YouTube. They want to know what to use on YouTube. People like the Tarot Lounge. And also I get emails of people that just want to chit chat and talk to me. So I put it on my website where you can actually book time with me. I tried to show it here, but I don't know if it's going to work. Let me see. Okay. I don't know. So this is the music. It might be blinking. But long story short, because I don't know if it's going to go through. It's not super expensive, but I'll put the link in. The link is in the description box. But you can book me to listen to your music. You get 30 minutes. I'll listen to your music. We'll talk about it. We can talk about it live on Skype. We can get into some things. I will physically listen to it. You can also book me to give you tarot readings. You can book me also to, I call it phone a friend. So if you want to talk about some stuff confidential, you want to vent, you want to laugh, you just want to, you bored, you think, honestly, there's a lot of people in life that don't have things to do. If you're a stay-at-home mom, your man is always going to work, and you don't really have a lot of friends, you want to kiki with Armon, we can talk, girl. Book me. I'll talk to you, girl. We'll get into some things. We're not going to get into my personal life because, listen, that's just not your business. However, but if you want to book, we can share some things. Also, if you're a new content creator or you want some introduction to YouTube and celebrity blogging and interviewing and news, you can book my YouTube beginner consultation. It's very much entry level. We are building a full-on course that will go in depth on that, and also we have website services as well if you guys need help with building your website. So we have those available to you to book now. So and if you, because there's people that want me to review like full TV shows, review full like people are putting on like full web series and want me to watch their whole web series. That's a lot of time. So you're gonna have to book it. It's not cheap, I'm telling you. But if you got a whole book that you want me to read, that I have to take time away from content and read your book and then review it for my audience, it's gonna cost you, girl. No shade, because it's time. If you have a show that you want, or a series of content that you've created and you want me to watch it and then feed it to my audience, you're gonna have to book that service. Okay, it is what it is. I can't possibly try to create content, live my life, and then respond to 100 emails for different things. So it's all there. If you're really serious and you're into it, go ahead and book it, and it is what it is. All right. So let's get back on task. All right. And listen, we're not going to be up here all night because it's like 832-8686. You're live on the air. Hello? I cannot hear. Let me try somebody else. Let me see something. 903. It might not want to do no call in with y'all. Hold on. We might not do the call in. Let me see if I can get it going. I'm going to try to get it.
Start your show now. Press 1 to hear important.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Okay, 832-8686.
Hey, it's your favorite caller.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. So, I'm going to speak more so on just Malik liking trans people and how it all transferred out. I'm not going to get into the whole him apparently being with somebody underage, because we really don't know the full tea, and I know we don't want to get sued. However, if you're 13 and you're out there prostituting and stuff like that, that's another issue that had nothing to do with him. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the LGBT community took a win and we also took a loss. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start off with the losses. I do say we did take a loss because more so it's just like I don't understand why we were, I guess, trying to expose Malik for, I'm a prostitute and he was doing this and he was doing this. And it's just like, okay, no shade. If he was doing all of those things, why are we now trying to expose him? If it was something serious or if it was something that meant that much to the LGBT community, he would have been exposed a long time ago. This would have been said right then and there. But now that he came out as being attracted to trans women, now it's like, let me go ahead and jump on the bandwagon and say what he's been doing. Okay, well, girl, if that's the case, he's been doing it. So next.
Right.
And regarding him liking trans women, shout out to all the trans community out there. I do believe I try, if he say, the way I feel about it, if he says that he's straight, I'm just going to go that he's straight, because at the end of the day, we don't know what genitalia the trans women have. But I personally believe that trans women are women. So if that's what he likes, that's what he likes. I feel like we as the LGBT community and straight people, I feel like that's when it gets to the point where it starts to get messy, because instead of Malik saying, hey, I'm straight and I just so happen to like trans women, instead of us just taking that and just being done, it's like I feel like we try to dig so much deeper into it. And I feel like that's why it's so many other celebrities who don't come out, because I feel like it's a lot of celebrities who want to come out, who want to say I'm attracted to trans women, who want to say I'm gay, who want to say I'm bisexual. But I feel like as soon as they come out, it's like we have to dig for so much. That's like, what was that basketball player's name? And they had this one gay guy end up exposing him for being gay. And
Dwight Howard. What was it? Dwight something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard, right. That was a prime situation. It's just like, we have people who are in the LGBT, because, I mean, just coming from a gay boy from the South, like coming out is a very hard thing to do. So just imagine coming out to not only your family, but the masses. That's a lot, because homophobia and transphobia is still out and very much alive. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of like, I don't agree, but I see why these celebrities don't come out, because it's like, they pressure us, reveal who you are. You need to come out. You need to be yourself. You need to stop living this lie. Then as soon as you come out and say, okay, well, I am gay or I am attracted to trans women, we as people literally tear them to shreds. It's just like, damn, they can't win for losing. Like, if he likes trans women, so what? Like, okay, like that's great. Like, moving on. Like,
and I agree with you. I agree with you when you say the focus. I mean, you're basically saying the focus shouldn't be on the genitalia, but that's why I'm saying when it comes down to the straight community, like I have a large audience of women. I have a large audience of gay men as well, but we, and the women, they don't like when I say the word cisgender, but you have to understand it's not a disrespectful term. It just, it divides the two. And the reason why we have to use that term is because so many women are hell bent on, the fact that trans women are not real women. And by understanding cis means biological women, trans means a person that transitioned into a woman. That is how you separate the difference. Because if we just said, okay, well, you're a woman as a regular woman, and then we just started saying trans women, we just dropped trans and just started calling them women, then that would be a problem. But I think the issue is a lot of women don't want to accept that trans women are here and they're trans. It just is what it is. We got to get over that. There are trans women.
Because and I don't understand that whole situation, because it's just like, okay, think of it like this. If you are a natural woman, people who go full out being trans, I have to pay to get my face done. I have to pay to get my hairline done. I have to pay to get my boobs done. I have to pay to get my buttocks done. I have to pay to get my bottom work done. I have to get things done that you already have. What is this? What is like? And it's a lot of, and no shade, it's a lot of black women who just have such a big issue with trans women, and it's like, but girl, for what? I mean, because at the end of the day, I will always have something that you will always have something that I will never have deep down. So it's like, sometimes we don't even realize that we've already won the battle because we're so ready to fight. We're trying to fight a battle that we've already won. Like me being a man, a trans man could sit next to me right now and try to be inclusive with me and do X, Y, and Z with me, and I won't feel any type of way, because at the end of the day, I am a natural born man. Another trans man will always have something that I will always have something that he will never have. So it's like, why fight a battle that I've already won?
Right.
And a lot of them trying to say, they're trying to take our man. Let's be very clear. If I'm able to take your man, he wasn't your man to begin with, sweetie. Like, period. Like, I don't understand.
Well, I think that goes to I think that goes a little bit. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. But I'm just trying to want to say, we as a black community, gay, straight, we are looking for inclusion, and we are missing that piece of the man, that man that's attracted to trans. And because that man is usually a masculine man, and that man can usually play on both sides of the fence. So if women want if we, first of all, it actually goes on both sides. Like I said, if the straight women want these men to live in their truth, then they cannot automatically bash them when they decide to do so. And then also when on the LGBT side, when a trans attracted man decides to live in his truth and maybe the relationship doesn't work out and he finds another trans, we cannot label that man as a tranny chaser.
Right, because that's one of the reasons why they don't come out now.
That's why they don't come out. So they're
crazy.
Actually losing on both ends. They're getting dragged by us, and then they're getting dragged by the straight community.
Right, I agree 110%.
So that's all I'm saying. We're going to have to
really
do better
started.
communitively. You know what I mean? Communitively as a people. All right, thank you, caller.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, let's take a couple more. All right, 267-3381. You're live on the air.
Hey, Armon.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi, this is Taj from the 215.
Shout out to
I
them.
promise I'm going to be keeping it PG-13 because I know my mouth was a little reckless last time. And I sincerely apologize. I just get so passionate, and us Philly people, we're a little crazy, and we get a little passionate. So excuse me, but anyway, so I just, with the whole Malik situation,
okay,
I just relating back to the last caller, I do agree with a lot of points that you and him was saying because, like, I just personally feel like, with the whole LGBT community, like, I feel like they have a right to be themselves. And I personally feel like straight people, like, especially within the Black community, for some reason, I personally feel like because everything in our community is so, like, is glamorized to be so tough. Mm-hmm. Everything with Black, period, is all about being tough. You feel what I'm saying? And I just feel like as a Black community, we got to be more open-minded to the fact that there are some people that, for their sexual, life, they choose to, be gay.
Mm-hmm.
Trans, excuse me. They choose to be trans. And, that's their decision. Like, let them make that decision. So just getting on topic with Malik, I just feel like, if he personally likes to date, regular women and trans women, that should be his decision. He is a grown man. He can do whatever he is pleased to do. And I just feel like, like, we live in such a hypocritical world. Like, you tell a person, be honest, keep it real. And then when they be honest and keep it real, you don't know how to take that, and you get upset, and then now you try to shame that person for doing exactly what you just told them to do. You feel what I'm saying?
But not for nothing. I do understand the women's perspective when you have this man that has been known to allegedly love male genitalia on a trans woman, and then you're saying that you're straight. To me, I understand what the last caller said. We shouldn't deep dive into if a person has a penis or not, but we care, and that's just what it is. So if I'm a woman, I'm offended. I don't have a penis if I'm a woman. So don't tell me that you straight and you like this woman with a penis, because I'm offended at that point. Like, we're not the same.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And
saying.
So for these men that try to come out here and say I'm straight, but they still like penis, it's like, don't play with me.
Right. You absolutely right.
So I understand.
And that is true. Like, yeah, it's like, don't sit up here 1 minute saying you just purely straight, but then another minute you sitting up here saying that you like penis. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, just basically own who you are, and that's the reason why, like, I really like you a lot, because you just own. I appreciate people that own who they are. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts and strength to just be like, listen, this is who I am. You either like it or you don't. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I just feel like with this whole Malik situation, like, I mean, I'm happy now that he's like coming out about it, but And I wish that he would have came out about it like sooner. But, going back to, just the last conversation with the last caller with what y'all was talking about, a lot of people don't like to come out because of the fact so many people are so harsh, they're so critical, they're mean and evil, and they just come down so harshly on people that chooses to be gay. And I just to sum up what I'm trying to say, like, I just really feel like it's not fair. Like, everybody on this planet has a right to be who you are. If you are if that's what you into, then to each his own.
And
you
here's my thing,
like
my thing, and you're right, and because and here's the thing, and I've said this so many times, like, and I really think that gays have it harder. Us as black gay men, we I think the gays and the women, like, we're really like we literally are best friends, but then we literally like get into it, and it's just like one of those things that are crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because some women feel like, they don't agree with the lifestyle, which I understand. You don't have to agree. Just don't disrespect me. You get what I'm saying? And some of the gays, they don't have to be overtly disrespectful to women in a sense. So I really wish that we could mesh, but it gets hard when, when you have a person that's saying that they're trans and you have women saying, you're a man. And it's just like, well, girl, like, I'm transgender. Like, let me be transgender. Like, and let my man be straight. Especially if know, because like a lot of transgender women take pride in their complete transition. So if you spent this money, you've done your transition, and you are a proud transgendered female because you transitioned, then you're not gonna.
And that takes a lot of money.
That takes a lot. Well, not only does it take a lot of money, it takes a lot of guts. They have to go through a lot of counseling. That's a whole sex change. It really is. And then so for somebody to degrade you and say you're still a man, like why? Like what do you get out of proving like they're a man, that's the man? Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I feel like there's a disconnect.
I personally, in my opinion, think that I really feel like it's just based off of being closed-minded and just being ignorant. Like, you have a lot of people that unfortunately don't want to take the time out to, hear the other side and listen, and not only hear it, but are you listening to the other side?
Yes.
Are you getting like some education from that other side? Because I'm not even going to fraud with you. Like, I used to think like, okay, like you went through all of that, but you still what you used to be because that's how God made you. But then the more I got like education from, like the gay community, that's when like it basically just changed my mind on everything. And now I just look at it more in like a different light.
Well, because I think that
the fact that I got.
Well, sorry to cut you off, but I think the thing is this: like, no one is ever saying a trans woman is a woman, is a biological woman. They're saying they're a trans woman, which means you transitioned into a woman. No one said that you were a born woman. So why can't you just be called a born? Why do you have to be called a man? Why can't they just call you what you are? A transgendered woman is what you are. That literally is what you are. You're not a man anymore. Exactly. You're literally not a man anymore. Exactly. You're literally a transgender. That is a thing of its own.
Right.
You literally are transgender.
Right. And yeah, like, and I really do feel like, if someone goes through all of those procedures to turn themselves into a transgender woman, then yes, I agree. That's what they should be addressed by, especially if they took all that time, they, seeing like counseling sessions also for that, because that can mentally take a toll on you, that you're really about to go through all of this to be another gender. You feel what I'm saying? So like, with that being said, like, I personally feel like people really need to like stop being so quick to judge, stop being so ignorant, and just like take your time out to listen to someone else's story. Take your time out to educate yourself. And that's why I said, in your last live that I do a lot of research on stuff because whenever, I approach somebody or like we're having a casual conversation about something, I want to make sure that I'm not offending that person. I want to make sure that everything is cool. And most importantly of all, I just want to make sure that, I'm on the same mental level with them.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Because I know for me, for a very long time, I always kept my mouth shut when it comes to y'all community because I did not want to offend nobody.
But that's another thing I don't think is fair. You know what I'm saying? But I'll get into that. But thank you, caller. I got to take some more people, okay? But thank you. I'm going to get into that. Bye. Thanks for calling so late. All right.
Bye-bye.
And I want us to get into that. And that's another thing that I did not like about the Breakfast Club interview. Listen. Gay people cannot be offended by every little thing, okay? I don't like that, where, people feel like they got to walk on tippy toes and eggshells. You can't say this. You can't judge me. You can't misgender me here. Nigga, listen. What do you identify, and this is what we're calling you. You don't get to, I identify as this today, and I may feel this way tomorrow. And if you said this yesterday, then I'm offended today. And, girl, who are you? What do you want to be? Okay, this is it. But you can be a part of the joke too, bitch. Just like you can dish the joke, you can be the butt of the joke. You get what I'm saying? It is what it is. We live in a climate right now where people are so sensitive and so offended, and it's just it's ridiculous. Let me tell you something. As a gay man, I don't get offended by much. Only thing I get offended by is when women pretend to be my friends, and when they get upset with me, then they call me out of my name and say I'm infested with diseases. And also, when they pretend to be my friend and behind closed doors, they think that, I've had some sexual trauma to me that's happened in my life, and that's what makes me gay. That's not every gay person has not been, violated. Every gay person is not living with disease. You get what I'm saying? So those things piss me off. Every gay person is not this horny, freaky, nasty, kinky, perverted. That's just not, contrary to what you might see, what you may hear, what the media portrays, that is not who we are. Just like every black woman is not angry or uneducated or dramatic. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of stereotypes that's out there for each community of people. But if you make a joke like, yes, you know what I mean? And it's comical, yes. Now, however, if you don't know me and you walking up to me, yes, Miss Thing, yes, girl, that's going to piss me off. You don't know me like that to be walking up to me talking about some, yes, bitch, yes. Don't walk up to me like that because I don't even get down like that. I don't even talk to my friends like, yes, bitch, yes. So don't walk up on me talking like that. Don't do that. Because, girl, no. You know what I'm saying? Girl, you're trying it. But outside of that, I'm not offended that easily. I watched the Dave Chappelle special. I get a kiki when people call us gerbil jousters or, they call us all kind of, derogatory names and they make fun of gay people and stuff like that. I get to kiki. I talk about gay people myself, just like I talk about black people, period. It is what it is. Some gay people are the fool, just like some black people are the fool. It is what it is. It is what it is. And that's why I said in this Malik Yoba situation, he was wrong. We all, as a community, we play a part in this. You get what I'm saying? If we want more people to come out and live in their truth, then we have to support them when they come out, and we can't be so quick to throw labels on them. But at the same time, Malik Yoba, if you're going to come out and live in your truth, completely live in your truth. And then, with that being said, with the trans community, listen, let's not try to expose people now that they're getting some type of, for clout or for recognition. Listen, get out of that exposing mentality. All right, we're going to take a couple more. We're not going to get to everybody today. So if you want to get on here, you can super chat your last four. All right, 614-1842. You're live on the air. Come on, turn me down. Come on, we got a lot of people on here. Let's go. Let's get into some things. Okay, they're not ready. It's late, girl. 216-2496. You live on the air.
What's up, Armon?
Hey, what's going on?
I don't know, man. I don't even know what I was saying now. I'm into the TV
What?
and everything else.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I was, the live, like, you on the TV, but it's like keep pausing and everything. So I was listening to the pause. So I was surprised when you said 216. Cleveland in the building.
So do you have something to say?
You want to talk to me? Listen, he was over. Yeah. What I wanted to say was, what do I want to say? I don't even remember. I told you I don't remember.
Okay, so.
He hung up on me.
What?
No, he didn't. He said on. I'm high. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you're high.
So wait.
Because I'm finna hang up
Yeah.
on you. Because you playing.
No, listen.
We got 800 people on here and you playing games.
I really wish he would live in his truth.
Okay.
Because what happens when you get in the shower with your female woman, whatever you want to call it? What happens when you get in the shower and y'all got to wash each other's body parts? Is that still considered a female? That's the question that I have.
Well, I don't know that everybody take a shower with their significant other. Maybe just.
But what I'm saying, but what if you do?
Okay, so what does the shower have to do with it? What do the shower mean?
Okay. When you're straight couples, they get in the shower, they do things in the shower, and whatever the case may be. And my whole thing is, if you love a woman, if you love female, if you love vagina, if that is something that you love, then when you don't see it, when you're intimate with that female, I'm confused. It confuses me and it confuses everybody else. It's like the community is already a laughing stock. You know what I mean? So to add something more difficult to our community is just like, why? When you can just come out and live in your truth.
Okay, I understand. But what if she's a post-op transgender?
But it came out that he messed with both.
Yeah,
so
it did come, and that's why the issue that I think that people have, because you do like the genitalia of a man.
Exactly. So how could you love vagina and the art of a woman, of a female, when some females you mess with is not necessarily the art of the creation of a female that you're attracted to. So the fact that you're attracted to different, it makes you different. And it makes you fall under this LGBTQ, whatever category. It does. And instead of him saying that, it's like he's beating around the bush about coming out, because he calls it stepping up. He's stepping up. No, you're coming out. And instead of just coming out and saying, hey, I'm attracted to whatever, it's like you want to step up. What are we stepping up on?
I understand. Oh, it sounds like you're getting a little bit more coherent. Okay, you watched that interview. All right, so that was a good point, though. Shout out to you. All right, we're going to take some more callers. Make sure you get that TV fixed.
All right, appreciate it, man.
All right, bye. Thank you. All right. It's late night. You never know what's going to go down. He did say, no, he was right, though. He did say step up. He didn't say come out. He said step up. I didn't like all that backpedaling and circling. And Charlamagne said, is he straight? And then Malik Yoba asked him, was he straight? And then when Charlamagne was like, I guess I'm straight, they was like, well, you never know. And it, I don't like this is another thing I don't like when the gay people do. They almost try to trick you into thinking that you might think that you might be gay or you're not sure. No, I'm sure what I am. If I said what I said, okay, I don't have to try you. Okay, everybody's not gay. I have to tell my friend this all the time. Listen, every man does not want you. But also, women, we need to know that every man is not straight. I mean, it goes on both sides, to be honest, okay? All right. 443-7974, you're live on the air.
What's up? What's good, bro? I cannot wait to get up on here.
Okay.
This is Darnay.
Oh, what's going on, bro? I haven't talked to you in about a year or two. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right. I'm coming to YouTube soon. So, yeah, we'll be
Maybe I'll have you on the show,
yeah.
girl. You know, we wakes it up on the show.
Yeah, you know what it is. You know the vibe.
Okay, so what's the tea?
So I'm just gonna come on here and straight just debunk and like crush a few topics just right off hand. So
Okay.
number one, I wanted to touch on. Hold on, let me try to turn it down. I wanted to touch on Malik Yoba, of course.
Okay.
Now he came and piggybacked off of Reese. Now Reese is the boy who passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe I was friends with Reese on several of his Facebook pages, and not in any form or fashion do I feel like he committed suicide over being bullied over that video.
He
Because number
didn't.
one, let's be very clear on something. The video was years ago, and not only was it years ago, he was very, very open. The lives are still floating around today on his Facebook pages. He was very open about him being openly dating trans, especially the trans woman that he was recently dating, which is, her name was Faith, and he had her name tattooed
On his face.
her government name. Yes, on his face. So in no way, form, or fashion was he DL about the situation. That was the whole purpose of the video initially when they outed him on the streets of Philly. Now, I say that to say, in no form or fashion was he committing suicide. He just was, he just overdosed. Like, he just was living life and just so happened to be doing too many drugs. There's been plenty of lives that he's done. He's been nodding off.
Right.
Just been high.
So we got that tea.
He
So
just
let's get to the other
overdosed.
tea. So we know that. Well, that's clear. So let's get to the real shit.
Yeah. So, that being said, I feel like me personally, as far as Malik Yoba and the sexual genital part, when you like a trans woman like myself, I'm not ready for a sex change.
Okay.
That's my own personal thing. And I feel like I can't say how I'm going to feel 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. But as of today, I don't feel attached to wanting a sex change.
Okay.
I don't feel any less of a woman because I don't have a sex change. But I do feel like in some form or fashion, if you do still have, your male, and this might hit a lot of nerves, if you do still have your male body parts, or if you are still in touch with your male body parts, in some form or fashion, I guess that would touch the lines of him being, I guess I would say bisexual. But
Yes.
I think with a lot of guys that date trans women, I feel like they feel like it validates them if they, are in a sexual encounter and they look up and they see a woman. They're dealing with these male body parts, but they look up and they see this woman. They feel validated because it's not a man. It's not a man like them. It's not an image of a man.
Okay. Let's talk about
that figure.
Well, let's talk about that, because then that goes into that other piece of why a lot of the trans community is upset with Malik Yoba, because if we're going with that theory, then it puts the trans girls that are in those situations into the lanes of more of a fetish. And so you feel what I'm saying?
And if you want to be realistic, if you want to be real, we have always been looked at as that in that form of fashion. That's how sex work and all of that became a big trade back in the years back. That was always the motive for trans women to be an underground fetish type of thing. Not to say we came a long way today to where a trans woman, like, whomever can have a platform and be able to, try to sit next to, your average everyday genetic female and almost live a normal life. But that's where it started from. It started from a fetish standpoint, and it started from a DL standpoint, because back in the day, trans women did not just come out and just say, oh, yeah, I'm a trans woman. Back then, a lot of them did not tell their tea at all.
Right.
Back in the day, a lot of them did not pump, a lot of them just didn't do it. That was the culture back then, because it was dangerous to, it was foreign to be able to see a passable trans woman in those days, and then for you to just come out and say, oh, yeah, I was born a man. That was very dangerous. So now today, you're able to just come out and say, oh, yeah, I'm a trans woman, and, keep tipping if you're lucky, but it hits a lot of, because like I said, I can only speak for me personally. And you remember when I first originally came on your show, I spoke on a lot of topics that, it's been times, I played, with my tea, and I've lived that lifestyle to where, I didn't, want to express to guys that I was, trans and things like that. But like I said, mentally that became dangerous. So once I got out of that, that mind frame of feeling like I needed to play a genetic woman to be validated, then I started to, look at life different. I started to look at things different. But I noticed that men treat you different if they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go from not being, like a guy not knowing your T, and then go from a guy a guy not knowing your T and then him knowing your T. The vibe is totally different.
Right.
It's totally different. I mean, regardless of whether he still goes along with it or not, whether he still moves forward with the situation or not, the vibe is definitely different. Everything about it is different. So that being said, I don't feel like personally like Malik Yoba. I'm glad, okay? Yeah, pat on the back, give him a cookie for him coming out. As far as I'm like a trans woman, okay, one step forward. But then now, like you said, one step back, now that you have trans woman out here because she was underage, and yes, I am going to speak on it, because she was underage at the time. No, I don't believe a teenager can consent to sex, or I really think that at the time, she probably was just out there being an average, fast-ass, young, 13-year-old, and I feel like she just got caught up in a lot of things, just so happened that she came across a celebrity at the time, and now that we're taking a step forward, this should be the last time that you would want, this should be the last place that you would want to bring that forward now, because that was then. And if that's the case, I feel like that was something that she should have done a long time ago.
Well, yes.
Like, if you really wanted to make
she should have done that a long time ago.
I feel like she should have done that a long time ago, just like Malik probably should have came out a long time ago. So both of them maybe should have stood in the same boat and been able to say, okay, well, we should have did this a long time ago, but now is not the time. When we're moving forward, now is not the time to come out and say, oh, well, yeah, girl, he raped me, or yeah, girl, he gave this, or he gave that. Like, you very well, no trick 9 times out of 10. Nowadays, if you're into escorting or prostitution, no trick is coming out the woodworks and asking you your
for
age.
ID. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. They're not doing it.
They really could care less about your age. They really could care less whether you. Their main focus is one thing, and that's you being functional. And and that's a lot of cases. And I'm just being realistic.
Let's be very real. No. That's the big, and I think that is the issue that the black women are having with Malik Yoba, and I think that's the issue that the trans girls are having with Malik Yoba.
And I'm here for it because it's a standpoint from a black woman, because of course I come from a black family and I come from a long line of black
hold on. Let's address that other issue though. On the flip side, him coming out is a big move for the men that are trans attracted. And I think as the LGBT and trans community, say you dating a guy and y'all break up and he go with another guy, then we call him the tranny chaser. That's not cool either that we do that.
Yeah, and that happens a lot. And that's why I feel like with black men, and I say that a lot because, like I say, I come from a long line of black women who feel that way, but I feel like it's okay when you had that gay man or that transgender woman doing your hair or doing your makeup and doing everything that makes you, feel confident about being a born woman. Mm-hmm. But when it's time to share the dating platform, it becomes an issue. It becomes a problem. Okay. And that goes for gay men too. Because you can be that gay man, and I just want to speak on Eric and Tay because I love Eric and Tay.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of and I feel like he's kind of controversial because it's been plenty of times I've looked at Eric and Tay on Instagram and I'll be like, does he like country? I'll be like, do he like girls? Does he, I'll just say that to myself because I'll be like, okay, well, it's nothing wrong if he did because he's still a man at the end of the day. He's still a man before he's gay. He's still a man. So he could very well possibly be attracted to a lot of females that he come across, or it could just be very, very friendly. It could be that way. But I say that because he comes across a lot of females, and I'm pretty sure a lot of those females that he has encountered has had conversations amongst themselves like, oh, girl, I wish my man would date another man, or I wish my man would get caught doing this or coming out or doing, you know what I'm saying? Those are the same women who have conversations about gay men, about trans women every day. They have these conversations, but they're okay to have you on their head. They're okay to have you out shopping with them. They're okay to, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes down time to share the dating platform, it becomes a big issue and it becomes a problem. And I don't feel like that's fair to the community.
Okay, now, hold on. Let me put you on hold. We got a lot of people on here, but if anybody would like to respond or, talk to her, you can super chat your last 4, or I'm going to take one more caller. But I'm going to keep Darnay on here. If you want to, talk to her and ask her a question, and maybe if there's a female that can articulate and talk without, being rude, and you guys can get into cis and trans and what's the difference, you guys can definitely have that conversation on this platform. If you want to get into some things, But I will take a quick call while that resonates, and you guys and whoever wants to call in and kind of speak for the black women, because I haven't had any black women speak come on yet. I've seen a lot in the comments. So if you want to come on and get into some things, you most definitely can before I get out of here. But you will have to super chat your last word because we have a lot of callers in the queue. Okay. 678-0076. You're live on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Armon?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I just wanted to, as a straight male, touch on a few points. I'm going to start with one question. When we talk about apples, do we call them red apples? Do we just say apple? When we talk about he or she, do we say cis he or cis she? No, we just say he and she.
Okay.
But just as well, you are a male who identify as gay, but you're still he.
Okay.
When you apply to any form, official, like you're applying for a card or something like that, you have to put your name down or information down. You just put down he.
Okay.
You put down she.
Okay.
So my suggestion is this, because I'm a word man. I noticed that the LGBTQ community, I support them. I support that they want to be seen as human beings, because I'm a humanist first and foremost. I support people being people. Why not use the terminology Z? It's a quick Google. Anybody can look it up. It's just ZE. It's when the gender is unknown and one wishes to avoid assuming the gender, they use this word. When they are neither male or female, they use this word.
No.
To avoid any appropriate or potential harmful language, they use this word. And the reason why I say using this word is because when it comes to our women, our cisgender women who are offended that you have to say cisgender women versus just saying women, kind of like the whole Apple example. Don't they just want to be called women? We look up the definition of woman, what does it say? It says it's a female. Then you go look up the definition of female, what does it say? It says a person who can procreate. Look up the definition. It's about procreation. If you are making the transition, you're transitioning from something to another. I'm not.
So you're suggesting that we just add a whole nother variable and just call it Z?
Yeah, look up the definition when this conversation
goes over
at night.
You said all of that to you. Okay, hold on. You said all of that to add in a whole nother variable of confusion. No, why?
It's not a variable of confusion.
Yes, that is.
It's not intended for confusion. You have he, she,
and Z.
That would be a simple, Z. Think about it. If the debate is a debate that many people, when a child is born, they don't want you to articulate their gender. You don't want to assume their gender. Z is a pronoun that fits this perfectly. All your listeners who's listening, take the opportunity to look it up yourself, because the confusion we have, not just in our nation, but our society across the world, is that people get away from the actual definitions.
Listen, sir, I'm gonna just tell you like this: we don't have the confusion with the cis and trans. The thing is this: I'm gonna be real with you. It's the heterosexual inclusion of the trans. They don't want to include the transgenders as women. Okay, so that's why when we're talking, because if we just called trans women, regular women, and we called cisgender women just women, if we just called them all as women, because we were doing that for a while, and then biological women were getting mad saying they're not women. So then transgender women, they got to the point where they started accepting the fact that, okay, I'm not a real woman, because at some point when people would say real woman, the transgender would get offended. But then when they got to the point where they understood, listen, I'm not a biological woman, I'm not a real woman, but I'm still a woman. I'm a transgender woman. Okay. And so when you're talking about the variables of women, so if I'm just talking about a collective group of women, and I'm talking about a transgender woman, and I'm talking about a cisgender woman, to divide the two so it's very clear, so that neither party of women or party that identify as women are offended, you say, hey, I'm talking about about the biological cisgendered woman. I am talking about the transgender woman over here. Just like you would say, I'm talking about the black boy. Or if somebody was talking about me and you sitting in the room together, they'll say, oh, well, the gay guy or the straight guy. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. I see your point, but isn't this not a debate of identity? This is identity. They're born in a particular body, a vessel, their soul into a body, and then realizing once here, how I feel about this body does not identify with how I feel.
But you going deep, but you adding another letter, Z. What is Z?
Hey, all that's what I'm saying. Take it into your own right to Google it and look up on it. I love your show, and I look forward to see if you speak on it at any other time. But Z is a pronoun that allows the entire LGBTQ community to be represented, where no one is making any assumptions about them. No different from you and me. I'm heterosexual. You are homosexual. If someone is asking us, despite what we look like, how we carry ourselves, our mannerisms, they're going to give this away automatically, right? If someone's had to ask, because you got some real, manly, masculine men out there who are gay. If someone had to ask what they are, then what they're going to do, they're going to give you that added word. Just no different from apples. We got green apples, we got red apples.
Just like we got cisgendered and transgendered. It's all the same shit. Thank you, caller. Thanks for watching. We got to go. Bye. And I'm going to remember that Z for you, nigga. What if we just started calling you N? We just started going around calling you niggas. I mean, well, they did that. Y'all didn't like that. We didn't like that. I don't like that. All right, Fatima super chatted. Let me get her last four. She's the last one. She has something to say. 1605. Let me get into some things. All right. 1605, you're live on the air. 646. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Armon. I just have to say, I love you so much.
Thank you.
I love you for what you do. I love your show. I love your presence. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
I have to say a lot.
Okay.
I love the LGBT community and whatever letters I missed. And I happen to be the B in the LGBT community.
Okay.
And I constantly have to deal with ignorance from both sides, whether we know it or not. I feel like as a bisexual woman, I literally see everybody's pain, and I can't do anything about it because I'm so free-minded and so misunderstood at the same time as a Black bisexual woman.
Okay.
Now, speaking for not only Black women and transgendered, because again, I understand what both sides deal with, and then again, I feel like I can't choose sides because, again, I love my Black woman, but sometimes they go overboard, and then I love my transgendered, but it's like both are, example, transgendered and gay are like the both extremes of, of the whole Afro-Belt city.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't want to even take the time to understand why they respond to certain things the way they do,
right.
Why they go through the things the way they do.
Uh-huh.
Being bisexual and constantly dealing with people not even acknowledging us, and even when they do, they claim that we're confused and we don't know what the hell we want. I feel like a lot of the Black men in the community, Black community, are bisexual, and because of a lot of the shame that has been put on this LGBTQ and XYZ, they're now is the time where they're constantly coming out, and I don't necessarily agree with the transgendered or gay or trying to expose each other, because I feel like that does make them look like that's something to be ashamed with. But overall, this community is dealing with overcoming with the shame from the ignorance of the past and the people of religion and all these other cliques, you know. However, I do want to say my part in this is a time where transgenders are being, you know, seen as desirable, seen as something that someone wants.
Okay.
Someone wants to.
And is there a problem with that?
No, there is absolutely no problem with that. It's like long overdue at this point. It's like something that shoulda, coulda, woulda happened in a world where if this world was much more open-minded and connected to all parts of their selves, we wouldn't even have to deal with it. But because we live in an ignorant world where people like to be ignorant, we have to, you know, be ashamed of parts of ourselves where we don't have no business being ashamed of.
Right.
If society was already mentally, emotionally, spiritually on point, this would not be a scam. This would be something to embrace. This would be something to, but we don't live in that world. So I'm not going to live in La La Land. However, I just want to say that I love what you do.
Thank you.
I feel like you matter. You make sense to what we need.
Thank you.
I look at media as a whole, I look at media like a whole family at this point. Everybody remind me of somebody in my family.
Okay.
Pretty much. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
All right.
I feel like everyone needs to be who the fuck they are.
Hey, okay. Say. No, we got to hang up on you. Why would you wait that? Why would you take all that time to do all that and then, girl. Why would you do all that and then, girl, you didn't even say nothing. All right, everybody, we have to get up out of here. If you didn't make it on here,
thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Next time. However, listen, I said what I said in regards to both situations. I really think that we should all just stick together. Now, listen, if you guys haven't done so already, if you would like to book a one-on-one session with me regarding your music, your YouTube, or just personal time, if you just wanted to talk to me, you can book that too. You can actually book help with your websites and things like that. So if you would like to do that, click the link in the bio. If you would like to get into some things. That is, we got into some things today. This will be a continued conversation. I think I might actually bring Darnay onto the show, and I might bring another woman on, and we can have like a panel talk. So thank you guys all for doing so. Everybody like, share, and subscribe. Shout out to the B&B squad. You guys have really been major supporters of me, and I love you all. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Let's keep the conversation going using the hashtag The Armon Wiggins Show. Until next time, I'm about to get up out of here, and I will see you soon. Love you. Bye.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.